Hi, I'm Aura, but it might be somewhat blurry or rapid switchy. Obviously, there are a bunch of people around. That is almost always true these days, but especially when we're trying to film or anything like that. I'm doing another late recording, so it's 12:30 in the morning right now as I'm recording this. But this should be a shorter thing than the last time that we tried to do late, and it's a little earlier than that time as well. So, we will see how it goes, but I am optimistic at least. So for this video, we want to talk, like in a dedicated video, about why we don't share some information, like about various alters, about some things about our system, etc., why we would choose to not share all of it. So one of the biggest things, and one of the things we've said the most on this topic before, is that we respect the consent of every alter in our system to the best of our ability. That can get complicated in a lot of ways. A lot of things will involve consent from multiple alters. We don't assume that we have their consent if we have low or no communication with them. So it's going to default to a no, not a yes. And that's why we will sometimes share some things, but keep out major details about what we're talking about. For example, when we say that system things are happening, and I say that that's impacting me in these ways, like that I'm dissociating more, or communication is worse, or something like that, but without talking about the specific things that are happening in our system. If we don't have the consent of the alters involved in that, or we're not sure if they would be comfortable with it, we want to err heavily on the side of respecting every alter's consent, and on the side of the answer being no, even if we're not sure if we're comfortable sharing something, because we want to treat information that we make public as though it is public forever by default, because that certainly can be the case. Once something is on the internet, it can be very hard to remove it from the internet, so we want to have a policy of treat everything that we share publicly as though it will remain public forever. And there are lots of reasons that a specific alter or our system as a whole might choose not to share some things. Some of us have trust issues in general, just about sharing anything. There can be like fear of not being accepted, masking tendencies and triggers can be really strong still, where some alters don't feel safe talking about themselves openly for those kinds of reasons. There can be like insecurity and self-esteem type reasons of just not wanting to talk about themselves because they don't like themselves, or they don't think other people will like them, or they don't like thinking about themselves, like focusing on themselves is too hard, things like that. There can also be identity confusion and denial related reasons, not being sure of who you are, and focusing on trying to describe details about yourself can contribute to like a denial spiral in cases like that. I've had moments like that even where I'll think that like this thing that I used to think of as being part of me might actually just be passive influence from this other alter, and I don't really know that I know anything about myself, and what if like I don't have an actual personality that's mine and everything is just other people, and you know, that kind of thing can get complicated. But also if you're just like, for me, for instance, when I spend most of my time around other alters, it can be harder to like feel confident on any level which things that I experience are like coming from me and not coming from other people. There can also be some information that would be a potential safety issue. So if there's information that could be used maliciously in a way that would harm us, that's why we don't share like trauma and trigger information for the most part. Things that if someone chose to, they could use that to hurt us in some way. It's generally safer to not share that kind of information. It can also be a way to like test a boundary with new people to see how they react to like not learning about us, like how they react to any no, but especially that type of thing before they know enough to actually have any power over us or over a specific altar. Like that altar might feel safer having some like experiences around that person or in that context generally or whatever before they would want to share anything about themselves. There can also be a component of, like Josh talked about this some in one of his early videos, it might have been his Meet the Altars, but he was worried at first when he first split about telling people about himself because he wasn't sure he was done splitting or fusing yet. He wasn't sure like that it was stabilized and everything yet, and that he was going to stay like the exact same person that he was after that split. He wasn't sure if he was like done yet, so he didn't want to like have people get like close to him or start relying on him if he wasn't going to be like still that person, especially in a very short like period of time. And we might in general have altars who feel less like stable in terms of splits and fusions just in general if like they're generally not doing well or they have a history of splitting frequently or whatever reasons that they might feel that that's a concern, that they might think it's not fair to themselves or to other people to like make friends and stuff when they're potentially about to be a completely different person. I'm not saying that that's like inherently a bad thing to do that. Like I'm not saying people shouldn't do that for that reason, but that can be a reason that people in our system choose not to. We also have altars who just aren't social or aren't interested in friends or relationships of any kind in general. They don't want to front or they don't want to front around people. There are altars who just have no interest in being on this channel, who have no interest in doing any of that. We also have some types of information that we need to hide from other altars in our system, even if the altars who are aware of that would otherwise be comfortable sharing it in some external contexts, especially in a context like this, where it would be public and presumably other altars in the system could like watch that video back at some point. But even like one of the ways that that can come up is if there are altars in our system who might feel comfortable talking about something but not in front of me, they can't talk to anybody externally without me like watching them do it because I'm always up here. Charlie looks like she's gonna finish eating her dinner, but that's okay. There are also just some things that feel too personal to share publicly, and we want to make sure that that feels allowed to us, for there to be things that feel too personal that we're just not comfortable sharing. That's going to be important for this type of thing, making content in general, to feel safe for us is to make sure that we feel safe not sharing everything. And having things that stay private is generally a healthy thing to do in terms of making public content and things like that anyway. But yeah, in general, if we're not sure if we're comfortable, we're going to err on the side of not sharing it. And if we at some point become sure that we are comfortable, we can always share it later. But it's a lot easier to share it later than it is to take it back once we have already made it public. This video went really well in terms of dissociating. That's good to know, I guess. So yeah, that is some of the reasons. I'm sure it's an incomplete list, but some of the reasons that we would choose not to share certain information. There's also the detail that sometimes we just don't know everything about a situation yet, like it's not done happening, or we don't have enough communication that like it would have so many like holes in the information, like it'd be so incomplete that it doesn't feel like it makes sense to share it yet. There are things that we want to process in therapy first before we potentially talk about them publicly. Like there are a lot of reasons. So those are some of them. If you have any thoughts or questions about that, feel free to let us know. It's possible that this video will come out on the anniversary of us starting this channel. We would be starting the 4th year of this channel, so finishing up year 3. If this is the next video that we upload and we get it up on time, that would be on that day. So happy channel anniversary, if that is true. Otherwise, happy belated channel anniversary, I guess. I haven't, at least yet, come up with a fun special thing to do for this anniversary. Like, I feel like we've had something that we were able to announce or something like that every time so far. And this one snuck up on me a little bit because of everything that's been going on. So if you have any ideas of things we can do as a special thing to celebrate this anniversary, including like doing a specific special offer for Patreon or some kind of just special video or anything like that, let us know. We are working towards coming back to live streams, so hopefully that will happen very soon. I started doing end screen type things before actually going to the end screen, but yeah, we're hoping to come back to gaming live streams very soon, but we are going to continue working up to it slowly to make sure we're not pushing ourselves too hard or pushing past anyone's comfort zone, which is on topic for this video, but we definitely want to come back to that when we can, and we are actively working towards it. Let us know if you have specific videos you want to see. We have some things that are in the works that I'm hoping will be really exciting and fun. We are making progress on things in terms of our health and system things, and yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction, so that's good. We are obviously not all the way there yet, but I think we're making good progress. We have a special offer on Patreon that if this goes up when I expect it will, there will be a couple days left to catch that special offer if you join any of our tiers in time. And it is it's like semi-long playlist. It's several hours of very relaxing, chill footage of us without talking, just in real time, knitting an entire reversible hat project with the knitting sounds and background sounds and everything. So I like it. I think it's a really cool, relaxing like laid back thing. So if you are interested in that, definitely try to catch that special offer before August, if this video goes up in time. Otherwise, I suppose I can edit out this chunk. But yeah, let us know for other ideas for Patreon special offers, as well as general video ideas, anything else you want to see. If you have game suggestions that you think wouldn't trigger vertigo, that would be something that would be helpful for us to know, especially if they are cheap or free. That could be very nice to have a backup list of things that we can do when vertigo gets in the way of doing some of the games we're used to doing. So yeah, or if you have any experience with vertigo and you have suggestions for like settings type changes we could make on games to make it a little more vertigo friendly, we would also love any tips you might have for that. So we've been looking into that as well. But anyway, hopefully we will keep getting back on top of more and more content things, etc. And check out all the things below me in the description, and like and subscribe and say hi in the comments and all that fun stuff. And we will hopefully see you for another video and other types of content very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!